How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, who do we have here? Symone Ballhead Sanders. She bucking for Biden. Oh, is she bucking? Look at that grill. Look at that grill. I should do anything for you, master. I should do anything. So, she got busted on some shit, and then there was a fight that ensued on Twitter between Symone and Sean King. And you know, Sean King is a Bernie supporter, and so you got two coons, and I don't know what the hell Sean King is. When I look at him, he look white, but I just choose to call them two coons because they all about grandstanding and, you know, getting them coins by any means necessary, you know, and they didn't put themselves basically on the auction block, or like Katie say, getting crumbs off of Lucifer's plate. So I found this article that I'm gonna read, and then I have a video, and then you'll understand why all of this went down. Symone Sanders slammed Sean King after he attacks her for supporting Joe Biden. Seems like the supporters of candidates are having more conflict with each other than the actual candidates. Bernie Sanders supporter Sean King and Joe Biden's senior advisor Symone Sanders drew some political blood on Twitter. Yesterday, Symone Sanders appeared on CNN, and the unavoidable topic of the 1994 crime reform bill popped up, along with President Richard Nixon's so-called anti-drug campaign, President Reagan's Just Say No Babble, Rockefeller drug laws, the 1994 crime bill contribute to the mass incarceration of black people. President Bill Clinton signed it, Bernie Sanders voted for it, Joe Biden co-wrote it, and Hillary advocated. They all the one and the same. It doesn't matter what party they affiliated with. It's all about upholding white supremacy. Although this was debatable ad nauseum during the 2016 Democratic primary, especially with the resurfacing of the super predators clip, Symone Sanders was asked about the crime reform bill on CNN. Sanders had a somewhat wonky response, which got her trending on Twitter. So, Sean King wrote this on Twitter, which was clearly a dig at Symone Sanders. I'm genuinely embarrassed that Joe Biden has black surrogates and spoke people out here defending the 1994 mass incarceration bill that he refused to repudiate. It's truly humiliating. Sanders clapped all the way back. What's humiliating is the cape you blindly put on for the senator of Vermont every day. He voted for the crime bill. No one defended the crime bill. You have my last hash. At least you continue to be petty on the internet. Don't personally attack me, Sean. I hope now we are clear. Shouldn't the end game be putting Donald Trump, not attacking our own? It's going to be a long election season. I do agree with that. So now let's jump over here and go and watch old Sally Buck. Now, this interview had me rolling because she's gonna be very animated, very mechanical. I mean, this shit is hilarious, and she's just like a little wind-up doll, and then you know it takes a minute to comprehend to stop, you know, and then she goes right back in to that wind-up doll. I was tripping when I was watching that shit.
From Senator Harris in that piece from Arlette about her refuting a claim that the vice president made this week that the 1994 crime bill that he wrote did not contribute to mass incarceration. I want you to listen to former President Bill Clinton. This is President Clinton, who signed that into law in 2015.
I signed a bill that made the problem worse, and I want to admit it. In that bill, there were longer sentences. And most of these people are in prison under state law, but the federal law set a trend. And that was overdone. We were wrong about that.
President Clinton says that they were wrong about that. Senator Harris has said that it contributed to mass incarceration. Why isn't Vice President Biden admitting what we're hearing from the former president?
Well, look, I think we can go back to Vice President Biden's comments at the National Action Network breakfast in January, where he noted that the crime bill, by way of this disparity between crack and powder cocaine, trapped an entire generation of people. Look, I think many people will tell you across the country, Victor, black folks included, that the crime bill and the reaction to what was happening in the early 90s. Now, look, I was only about 3 or 4, but I'm a student of history. What was happening in the early 90s, the reaction was an overcorrection to a very real issue. But we are going to see some policy rollouts from our campaign very soon, Victor. I know folks have questions about what is Vice President Biden's criminal justice policy.
Is it now
and those are going to come.
Now
but I mean,
the campaign's position that the crime bill did contribute to mass incarceration?
Victor, I think the vice president, his comments speak for themselves. What is very clear is
his comment was that it does not contribute to mass incarceration. The former president who signed it said it did.
Look, Victor, if we play the whole clip, what he also said was, his comment was, what he also said was that the majority of folks that are incarcerated were incarcerated at the state level.
And there's a reason for that. Let me put up the Truth in Sentencing and Sentence here.
And I mean, there is a reason for that.
But there's a reason. Let me put it up. Let me put it up on the screen, guys. The Truth in Sentencing section of the 1994 crime bill. This is page 21. It incentivized. It offered billions of dollars to build new correctional facilities if states would increase the percentage of convicted violent offenders, increase the average prison time, increase the percentage of the sentence was there. Did this bill not incentivize putting more people in jail and keeping them there longer?
Victor, I am not going to sit here and tell you the crime bill was perfect. There were some really great preventative things that it did. It took on the NRA, and then there was an overcorrection. What you're describing was an overcorrection. There was a reach.
All right, my royal family. Let me see what happened here. Let me see. Can we get the rest of this, or was that the end of that? There was a little bit more here. Let's see here. I'm going to back up. I'm going to refresh and then go back to that point.
Hello, ladies and sirs. Look at me. Now look at this product. Now back to me.
All right, damn commercial. Hear that shit.
The vice president here, and we heard from Senator Harris in that piece from Arlette about. Let me put it up. Let me put it up on the screen, guys. The Truth in Sentencing section of the 1994 crime bill. This is page 21. It incentivized. It offered billions of dollars to build new correctional facilities if states would increase the percentage of convicted violent offenders, increase the average prison time, increase the percentage of the sentence was there. Did this bill not incentivize putting more people in jail and keeping them there longer?
Victor, I am not going to sit here and tell you the crime bill was perfect. There were some really great preventative things that it did. It took on the NRA, and then there was an overcorrection. What you're describing was an overcorrection. There was a reach. Some folks went too far. The bill wasn't perfect. Republicans fought to put a lot of things in that bill. Democrats fought to get a lot of things out of the bill. But at the end of the day, Victor, at the end of the day, no one is suggesting that what has happened, what has ravaged communities over the last 27 years does not need to be fixed.
Okay, that's the end of
Hello,
that.
ladies and sirs. Look at me.
And excuse me for that. Y'all know I ain't going to edit anything. I'm going to stay authentic, even when I stumble a bit. So, we know that Symone, she about that life too, and I'm not going to let go that she told our kings to shut up. It's all kinds out there. And we see Coonan shelf life ain't long. Check out what's going on with Steve Harvey. He done lost 3 shows back to back. It ain't worth it at all. Backing any of these people running for office, they're going to continue to uphold white supremacy, and they play the game, and they use faces that look like you and I for them to go out and uphold and advocate for white supremacy. And then when they're done with them and stuff, they spit them out. Then when they're spit out, now they bitter and want to come back to the royal family because you're up in your feelings. See, I had an example of that, and I was waiting for it when Omarosa was fired from the White House. And I said, she's humiliated, in a state of pain. Some of these interviews she's going to be doing, she's going to be bringing it. And I even predicted a book. And everything that I said came true. It's a certain window you can catch them in, and you can get them for information, because I believe in the art of war. And we know one of ours have defected from us, and when they got their nigger moment, get the information, because ultimately they want to be validated and approved by the enemy. And this is who you see here, who fix her raggedy mouth to tell our kings what to do. She doesn't respect the natural order of things according to Yah. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.